Midwest Music Explosion is on TalkSTL.com, MidwestMusicExplosion.com, Facebook.com/Midwest Music Explosion. This show is intended not only for the fans, but the musicians as well. An open forum to discuss the life that is the Midwest music scene.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Midwest Music Explosion, the inaugural event. Thanks to Coach there for the little one-liner. And joining us today in the studio, we got Tom West with us. He's here to calm my nerves, I think, because I'm about ready to have a heart attack. You know,
relax. We're all friends sitting around. You act like we've never been here before.
Take a Valium. Well, yeah, shit. Ryan Phillips, Adam Russell from Story of the Year and Greek Fire, both.
Sup?
What's up, fools?
Howdy.
I don't know what's going on with my headphones here. There we go. That's much better. Sorry about that, guys.
User error.
User error, definitely. It's like smartphone dumb person, right? Oh, goodness. So thank you guys on short notice for coming out, man. That is too huge and too cool. I know you guys have the project going on of, who killed or saved the music industry. And you guys hit on a lot of topics that hit me when you guys came to the Tom and Jeff show originally, in regards to the music scene and what's going on with it and things that are so different now than it was, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I mean, it's every month it seems like it changes every day now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just in the 10 or so years that we've been, a signed band, we've seen a complete flip. We caught kind of like, we always say this, like the death rattle of the old business model, the old music industry, and we've lived through this sort of guinea pig period.
Death rattle. I love it.
So we're on our way to, we believe, something better for everyone, artists and fans, but getting there is kind of the complicated part, so that's why we decided to make this film.
How's the film going? Are you almost done? You done?
No, for us to do our job, the best that we can do it and to tell the story that we want to tell, it means talking to a shitload of people. And obviously not just here, not just LA, but New York, Chicago, Nashville, DC, everywhere. And, dude, it's an undertaking,
And not just, the bands and industry people that are within arm's reach, the rock genres, but people outside of that. So hitting everyone that, that we were kind of more directly connected to first is giving us leverage to, move it beyond, like, kind of the warped crowd. And
you kind of put yourself in a position where if you close it and you wrap it and you go, here we are, it could change the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you want to, is there an ending, or I guess we don't know yet?
Well, the thing that makes this so exciting for us is this is a learning process for us too, We're by no means trying to sell it like we have it figured out and we have the answers.
You're undressing in front of me while you're talking. Getting me turned on, man.
But it's super interesting because, like, no one, every transition is painful. We both believe that the future's bright because, the power has never been more in the hands of the artist as it is now. I can record a song, open my computer, put it in, anyone in the world can hear it. You got dudes like Macklemore. You got dudes that are just no label. Dude, like I noticed your dubstep intro. Dude like Skrillex. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, all because of this technology, and
that was part of the reason I wanted to kind of use an intro to that, to that genre and not to just pigeonhole, another local thing that we're doing with rock bands or, and no dig on the point, because without the point, we wouldn't even have a local music scene because,
Dude, absolutely.
I don't think people realize how much the point has done for local music, because you can go to any other city and there's stations that they don't give a shit.
Well, especially
they won't play you.
Especially with rock music, man. It's a tough time for rock music.
Absolutely.
And, as a rock band, it's we obviously have kind of a biased opinion with all that, but it's a tough time for rock music. It's a tough time if you play a guitar. But then you got people like Mumford & Sons. It's not heavy metal. That's guitar rock. Those dudes are, that's metal to me. Those dudes are rocking the fuck out. And look at that. They're the biggest band in the world, Right. But
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is rock dead?
I don't think so.
I think rock's taking a nap.
Taking a nap? I like it.
I think it's taking a nap, but to me, when I think of rock and roll, I think of like danger. I think of bold. I think of taking risks, taking a chance, just like that rock and roll attitude. I think everyone's just playing it safe because everyone's scared for their job. Everyone that works at a label is scared to sign a rock band because people don't buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone's just playing it safe because no one wants to lose their job. and bands are playing it safe because we talk to people all the time. They're still holding out for the record deal and still holding out for the A&R person to come to their show and give them the big advance and champagne and boobs and we made it. And
right.
everyone's just like, hey, this 15 minutes, this is big. This is what we have to do. Stub step shit. This is big. This is what we have to do. Not knocking anything. I mean, that's always been like that.
Right.
But
I feel like now hip hop is what rock music was like in the 80s. In the 70s.
Good analogy.
It's what the kids love and the parents don't understand. It's rebellion. It's this edgy kind of youth culture in a way. And everything's
so much
cyclical.
more accessible too, as opposed to when I was growing up. I mean, I don't know exactly how old you guys are. I think I got 10 years on you at least. Yeah,
18 and a half.
Well, me too. So we're the same age.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, when I think you guys in Story of the Year got a record deal just before my band did in like 2000.
Well, we got
2001 maybe it was.
There was a small indie label in California that we signed with.
We're using air quotes right now.
Yeah.
Is that?
But we didn't get
was that Feldman?
No, that was. No, that was Criterion. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
You said 2000, so.
Yeah.
But we didn't officially sign with Maverick until 2002.
Gotcha.
Just 2002, right?
Yeah.
Because Page Avenue came out in
October.
2003, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And and like you guys said, it was kind of the death rattle, and it really was because we struggled from day one, even to get the deal at that point because it was starting to slow down, and people were going, "What are we going to do?"
And
let's keep this.
I don't want to get like super in depth about this, but
in depth as you want. We got time.
Yeah, let's just be honest. But like, I remember getting our initial offer from Maverick, and we really wanted to do our record with Feldman, who discovered us. So, I remember talking to the lawyer, he's like, dude, we can do the shopping game, we can go showcase for everybody, but Feldman has his deal through Maverick, so if you guys want to work with Feldman, you should sign with Maverick. Long story short, we signed with Maverick. I remember thinking like, holy shit, like, this is so much, like dude, we grew up in St. Louis and North County, like, I remember just thinking like, holy shit, this is so much money. Like, everything's all right. Like, this is crazy, and
it's gone quick.
Yeah. Well,
but even at the time, it wasn't much.
That's where I'm going with this. It's like, to us, it was like, holy shit. Like, this is crazy. I got 4 different credit cards just to buy a guitar, like, and now this label wants to give us all this money. And at the time, the lawyer's like, yeah, this is not a huge deal. I mean, at the time, there was like $1 million deals right and left and everything,
Yeah.
So to us, it was like this massive thing, but to the rest of the industry, it really wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
10 years later, thinking back to our deal back then, that shit doesn't happen anymore. Now that would be a
full 360.
Well, now the deal we got in 2003 now would be like headline news. Like,
oh yeah,
bands don't get that deal anymore. I remember. I'll just come out and say it. I remember when we got our publishing deal. I remember sitting in our shitty ass house in the fucking ghetto in California and calling my mom and being like, "Mom," her name's Meemaw. "Mom, this company is going to give us $500,000. That we're getting a check, a publishing deal for like." It wound up being a little less than that, but still,
it's huge.
Like, that shit does not happen anymore for rock bands, at least.
No.
I mean, maybe once in a while, but back then,
but it's caused more by viral because everyone wants to know the story.
But
when you're shopping, they're like, "Well, what's the story? Is there a viral story?"
Yeah.
Well,
but the biggest difference is like 10 years ago and more 20 years ago. Like, all label had to do was take 20 pieces of shit and throw it at the wall. Only one had to stick.
Yeah, and they were going to make their money back.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And you can't do that now. I mean, I understand. I'm not like, I'm a realist. Like, no one can do that. I'm not bitter about it.
It'd be fun if they could.
Yeah,
keep the industry the same, right?
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. So for them, it was just like a numbers game. It's like, yeah, we'll throw this money at this band. We'll throw it at this band. One of them hits, investment, return. Or we get the return on our investment. Everything's good. It's not like that anymore, So the days of those big giant advances and the publishing deals and all that stuff, for the most part, it's not like that anymore.
So coming from St. Louis with what you guys are doing with the who killed or saved the music industry. What kind of local aspect are you taking on that in St. Louis? Is there much of a St. Louis tie with it, or is it still based on it's national, it's everything, it's kind of the industry itself, not just is there a local aspect to it is what I'm asking, I guess the simplest way.
We want to take we want to make it as broad as possible. I mean, we want this to be a global film for every music fan, every musician, and anyone who cares about music. But we're trying to tell the story through sort of a personal, subjective perspective. That's why we're interviewing so many artists instead of just industry professionals. We want to talk about what it's like to be an artist during this kind of transitional period. But we actually talked to some folks from Vintage Vinyl the other day, and
cool.
We're probably going to do an interview with them. Them being one of the few. Probably the only record store left in the city, and there's only a handful of record stores across the entire country that are sustaining. And
yeah, we got Vintage Vinyl, CD Warehouse,
Euclid Records,
Euclid, and Webster.
Isn't that weird that we can count it all on one hand?
Oh,
I remember growing up, it's like every mall, this is what you did, man. I got my allowance, I got my money, and I went.
Oh yeah, you went to the street side, and
it's weird, man.
Oh,
says the old guys.
Says the old guy.
Well, we're definitely going to get into a lot more because there's so much depth to your project and obviously the industry and what we're talking about. And I want to get into all it with you guys because I think you guys will share a great perspective on it. Being from the $500,000 publishing deal to the deals aren't there and more on an independent scale and where you're going and how you're planning on making your career longer, I guess, to keep your career going in the music industry. So I want to hit all that. I want to play a couple songs from some bands that sent some stuff in. And the first one, I believe, is Sober, Killer Me, Killer You. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. This is Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com.
I've been sitting on the road again, staring at an empty glass. I have nothing left to lose, but how can I lose you? I'm looking out the window when it's raining hard and I confess I still cannot give up this addiction that I love. But you always stick around and wait it out. You never turn your back on me when I don't show up. One more time, then I'll try to get sober. It makes me feel like I am alive. I don't know if I could get sick and tired of being young and getting high. I wrote your name in the sand. The water washed over it. Tried to see your face in the stars, but all I saw was the sun. Looking for another chance. I just wanna make amends and cover up all the scars before I've gone too far. So you wanna stick around and wait it out. You never turn your back on me when I don't show up. One more time, then I'll try to get sober. It makes me feel like I am alive. I don't know if I could get sick and tired of being young and getting One more time, then I'll try to get sober. It makes me feel like I am alive. I
He sold more comedy albums than any recording artist in history. Weird Al Yankovic is coming live. The Alpocalypse Tour. Friday, April 19th at the Family Arena. With 3-time Grammy winner, Weird Al Yankovic. Get all the latest news and more at WeirdAl.com. New album Alpocalypse available now. Reserve seats available now at the Family Arena box office and online at Metrotix.com.
Hey, it's Coach from my friends at Rookie's Bar and Grill right here in Wentzville. I'm telling you what, if you want to have a good time at an affordable price, there is no better way to go than Rookie's. From their $9 bucket special on Tuesday night to their $14.99 pitcher and wing special on Monday and Thursday nights, you can't beat it. And don't forget about those $1.25 drafts during every Cardinal, Blue, Ram, and Mizzou sporting event that you can watch on one of their 9 big screens. You'll never miss a game at Rookie's Bar and Grill, 1544 South Service Road in Wentzville.
Brook Royal. Brand new. April 2013 brings a brand new full-length album from Brook Royal. Cycles of Life and Sound, featuring Show Your Teeth. Time we're okay. And Put Up, featuring Dan Marsala of Story of the Year. Cycles of Life and Sound, the new full length from Brook Royal, available April 2013. Get out!
If you feel that quitting smoking is a mission impossible, it's time to try the real alternative to smoking cigarettes. Start vaping with USA Puff and Stuff. Why waste your money on gas station throwaways? USA Puff and Stuff works with you to get the perfect combination the first time. Your vaping experience begins with education, and you get to try it before you buy it. With over 100 flavors to choose from, tobacco, menthol, Havana banana, blueberry, and even maple cured bacon. All flavors made right here in the United States. The premium kit sells for $64.95 and includes 2 batteries, 2 clear tanks, heating elements, hard case, charger, and a lanyard. 30 milliliters of e-juice sells for $12.95, and once you try it, you'll realize there is no alternative. Located inside Old Town Kettles and Cups, 13 East Pierce Boulevard in Wentzville, or at usapuffinstuff.com. It's time for you to start vaping today.
screaming and clapping and toe tapping. Ain't gonna be no gum flapping. To shun, yeah, to just turn away. Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell! Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell! Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell, that's where I sent them. Straight to hell!
You're listening to Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. A little urge for you, straight to hell. So we were having a pretty interesting conversation during the break that we probably should have been having during the show on the air. Yeah, no, but we started talking about like deal or no deal. What are the options for the bands and things that they can be doing and. I think Adam brought up a really good thing about the Kickstarter program, and I know you wanted to get into that a little bit, so why don't we go ahead and jump into Kickstarter?
Yeah, Kickstarter is what funded our documentary. It's kind of like it's a crowdfunding website where you kind of explain your project, you put up a little trailer, and this and that, and you offer incentives for people to contribute. Whether it's an album or a movie or a product, you kind of find your audience and find the consumers that would buy your product kind of ahead of time, rather than investing a bunch of money into something and just kind of putting it out there. Like in music, traditionally, a label would throw a bunch of money into something that they believed in and hope that they get their return on that investment. But this is kind of the opposite, where you use your fan base to, sustain,
invest
create
into what you're doing,
right? Yeah, and you offer copies of the CD or autographed copies, posters. VIP
come over to the house
packages.
for dinner.
Seriously, people do that kind of shit, and
those experience-based stuff. That's what people are really into.
Yeah, just so they can they feel like they're a part of it. They get to be a part of something that, 10 years ago, that you'd have to win some massive national radio campaign to have a chance at something like that. And they may be huge fans of these bands. I think you said it best here just right before we came back. You were talking about the disconnect of the fans to what these bands actually are, the perception of these bands because you hear them on the radio or they're in a soundtrack and all this stuff. Oh man, they're living fat on the hog, and it's like, no, these bastards are out there working 2 jobs trying to keep their lights on.
Yeah,
they ain't making no money.
It's a working class industry for bands specifically.
Yeah.
I would say for 99% of all artists, not just bands.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear the top 40, but it's literally just those 40 people. Like 90%, 99% of this industry is straight up freaking poverty, man.
Yeah, more.
Let's be real about it.
But no one started this. You guys didn't start this to make a lot of money. That wasn't the point. The point was your heart. That's where it comes from.
But when it comes down to it, if you can't make a living and sustain that art, that music that so many people love will cease to be available, will cease to be created because, people grow up and have to move on. When you're 19 years old and you're living with your parents and you eat, sleep, and shit music because you don't have to worry about bills and shit like that, it's a whole different story,
Yeah.
Coming from my perspective, I mean, when they'd bring the high school kids through the radio station, and it always looked really cool, and it was a really cool job, and it still is.
Kind of.
No, I'm doing. I always say when people ask, "How are you doing?" I say, "I'm not working at Taco Bell yet," and I'm thankful for it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the kid, there's a couple, 2, 3 stragglers who are, they're really serious and they're looking you in the eye and they say, hey, "How do I do this, man? This is what I want to do. I want to do this." Right. And I would, I would pick up the phone and I'd call 4 friends in the radio station. I said, "I got this kid in front of me, and they want to get into radio. What do you tell them? Like, where seriously do they go?"
Yeah.
And the standard answer would be, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's kind of sad. And flipping it back on from a musician standpoint, a kid comes up to you and, man, I listened to your music all these years and you've really inspired me, and you hear those things and the kid really wants to do it, what do you say to the kid?
Dude, I've had this conversation literally 1,000 times. And, just to start off my point, like, exactly what you said. Like, I never picked up my instrument and said, how can I get a buck out of this? Like, I never said, one day I'm going to have a Porsche and a this and this because of my music. Fuck that, dude. I just loved it. All I did was make music. It's all I gave a shit about. That's it, That being said, I'm in a little bit different situation right now. I mean, if we're just going to be honest, everything, I have a kid, I have a wife and a kid. Mm-hmm. It's not about me anymore. So I have to provide, and I'll play music until I'm a skeleton. I'll be the dude. I can't get a boner anymore. Half my fingers don't work. I'll still be in my wheelchair.
I have become cumbersome.
And I'll still play. Even if no other ears here.
We can start a Kickstarter program for your boner. You can buy
I'll
Viagra.
make music until I'm dead. But it's a different kind of thing now because, dude, 99% of artists, like, if you're thinking about money, you should just automatically just stop now and do something else. Go be a stockbroker. Go sell life insurance. Because, 1, the art's going to suffer. 2, it's going to be false and ingenuine. And 3, you're not going to make money. Lightning might
first
hit
and
you.
Foremost, you're not going to make money.
Lightning might hit you, and you might be a Kesha or a Lady Gaga or a Justin Timberlake or something. Sweet. But for 99.9% of the rest of humanity, it's not going to happen like that. You're going to make music. These days, you're going to throw it on YouTube, and it's cool. And that's cool. That's why we all got into it in the first place.
The top 10 artists are responsible for more than 90% of record sales of every song available in the entire world. The top 10,
and there's 3 dudes sitting in a room that write it all.
Yeah. That's what I mean. That's a lot. That's a misconception too on some of these songs now. And before, songwriting wasn't really, I would say, what's a good term, like cross-pollinated in rock music. You know what I mean? It was always country or pop.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it started coming into rock, where these writers, these rock bands, and they started writing rock songs for newer rock bands coming up.
So the label people come to you and say, I think you guys should do the song, and then you do it?
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what happens?
Absolutely.
We've never
You've never had to deal with that on that?
We've never dealt with that, but I mean, dude, that's nothing new, though. Like Elvis.
No, yeah,
Elvis,
right.
like people like that. But in the rock genre, I mean, Led Zeppelin, I mean, a lot of rock, there's a lot of covers. Like, what's the Van Halen album that's like almost all covers? Like The Who, shit tons of covers.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin did cover. I mean, but those were artists, man. Like, I don't care what you say, you can, like, Led Zeppelin. You love him or hate him, you cannot tell me Jimmy Page isn't a master artist.
Oh,
like,
it's ridiculous.
He's an artist.
Have you seen the new thing on Showtime? I caught a little piece of it, and I haven't finished watching. I did record it. The history of the Eagles.
Oh, I haven't.
The documentary.
I haven't seen that, but I know.
It
I know
is
a little bit about.
Insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, those are writers. That's a band of writers, man.
That's the thing, is they were talking about how creative and how much their songwriting progressed is why they got as big as they were. I mean, they were just masters at their craft.
Yeah, to me, that's the romance and the beauty of being an artist. Like, not to get too sappy about it, but dude, the fact that I can sit in my backyard and pick up an acoustic and write a song, and some 19-year-old kid in Australia, it's gonna like, change their life. They'll get a tattoo of the lyrics, and like that's amazing.
It's pretty amazing,
dude.
right?
It's amazing. I'm not curing cancer or reinventing the wheel, but dude, to some kid, we are Led Zeppelin. To some kid, like
right.
The fact that I can put something,
if you put it in that, absolutely.
The fact that I can put something out in the universe that can affect somebody to such a degree, I think that's like the coolest thing in the entire world.
Yeah, there's not much else you could really do that would be cooler than that. To touch somebody like that, no question.
Mm-hmm.
How many? You guys have toured pretty much the world. I mean, with Story of the Year. I mean, Japan, obviously, and Europe, and you guys have been to Australia as well, too, haven't you?
Yeah,
minus
probably like 9
Africa,
times.
minus
Have you really?
Africa and Antarctica.
Story of the Year, Zimbabwe.
We've been everywhere, man.
Yeah, we were
That's
supposed
cool.
to do Africa, but the promoter disappeared. I'm
Really?
not
True
joking.
story?
Oh yeah, true story.
Yeah, we had
just
a few different
disappeared?
offers
Disappeared, man.
for South Africa shows, which would be amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah. But dude, that's been the biggest.
South Africa?
I don't have a pot to piss in, man. Like,
how old's your kid, if you don't mind me asking?
She's 4.
She's 4.
Yeah, she
See,
parties.
That's the same thing that happened to me when we were, when at the end of Modern Day Zero.
Yeah.
I have 3 kids now.
Yeah.
You're
fertile.
And at some point, you have to provide, and if it's not doing it, it doesn't make any sense to. And do I miss it? Did I love doing it? Absolutely. That's what we did every day. I didn't know anything else.
Dude, that's the thing. Is like, even if it all ended right now, dude, I've had the most amazing last 10 years of my life. I spent the prime of every dude's life, your 20s. I spent my 20s with this asshole riding around in tour buses and airplanes and just living the life, dude. So
how was the dynamic in the band with you guys? I mean, as you were traveling, what did you guys encounter on the road? I mean, fights and all that stuff, or was it pretty laid back because you guys are all friends? Was it incidents or? Because I don't know if bands that have never done it don't realize that living in a bus, it's cool, but it's small,
dude. It's glamour and it's awesome, but
right.
When you really break it down, it's a
motorhome.
It's a motorhome. When you really
exactly.
break it down, it's a motorhome, and there's 4 or 5 band dudes and 4 or 5 crew guys. There's like a full, say there's 10, 12 people living in an area the size of your kitchen at home, dude. But every little thing someone does is magnified by like 30. Someone brushes their teeth loud, it's like holy poop.
But in general, I feel like we've always been the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
We've been close friends through the whole thing, and we've had our moments, of course, like friends and family and business. That story's notorious for the bullshit you can go through. But we've been close through all of it. None of us hate each other.
That's cool.
I feel like we held it together really damn well. Like we're
even
all...
when times were at their worst, like we were still. It was never the kind of shit where we would go through an entire day and not speak to each other. It wasn't the kind of thing where we just see each other on stage and do our job and check out.
But that's because our band started, like, we were friends before our band. Like, we grew up skateboarding together. The band was like,
did you guys go to high school together and everything? Most of you guys?
Yeah, a couple of us. Me, Dan,
it's so
Josh.
weird because you guys were in California by the time we started, like, really breaking through. And you guys were young.
Yeah.
I want to say you guys were just out of high school, weren't you?
Pretty 21, 22.
Yeah.
Were you? Okay.
Close. Young.
I got about 5 years on
youngish.
is what I'm thinking.
But yeah, we went. Some of us went to middle school together. I started playing with Dan when he was 14 and I was 15.
Both you guys in Big Blue Monkey then at that point?
Yeah.
You both were?
Yeah, so was Dan. Josh wound up. Like, we were like friends. We just skateboarded and we'd go play shows. We never thought about record deals. We never thought about
start a band.
Yeah. We just liked music. We loved to listen to it. We loved to skateboard. We loved to just be retarded, and then we just started playing it, and now I'm sitting here talking to you.
That's what it does,
But that's
right?
the difference with our band, is that we were friends way before we were a band,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I best with my band, it was like we became friends after we hooked up. We didn't know each other. Well, 3 of them did. I was kind of the outsider. Yeah. They were already all together, and I kind of came in from the outside. Yeah. But, became close, and obviously there was incidents and everything else. But the bus it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but there's no glam about it.
Dude, when your highlight of your day is to find a clean toilet, or you're like, sweet, there's Taco Bell, I can go brush in the bathroom and brush my teeth, like, that's the reality of a touring band. When you have a bus, it's a little different, but like the glamour, dude, for most bands, there's no glamour in 9 dudes sleeping in a van. You know all this stuff. Like
God, the van's that's the most brutal.
Yeah, there's no glamour in this shit. But at the end of the day, like, dude, think what you're doing.
Yeah,
you're driving
that's
around,
the thing. That's what got you through it.
Playing
too,
music. You can drink a beer any time of day you want to. You can, like.
And you live for those, the hour and 15, the hour and a half, whatever it is, on stage.
Right, yeah.
That's what you do it for. You do it for that.
We did it for months
God,
and
we
played
all
25 minutes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you want to go on tour.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are going on tour. We talked about that.
Yeah,
We'll get
we're
into
back.
that a little bit about Story of the Year. You guys got a bunch of stuff coming up, so let's talk about that. We'll talk a little bit more about the music business. Let's take a little short break here. I'm going to play some old school local stuff and go back to Stir, one of my favorite local bands of all time. And this song's called Nothing's Wrong. So we'll be back here briefly after the break, and we'll get into it a little bit more with Adam and Ryan, and we'll see where we end up. So this is Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com. Thanks.
time you're gone and I'm bored. It's a good therapy for me. Mention rhymes to me to remember why you're gone. It's a good time for me to be. Whoa, well, don't be long. You're feeling me, we're saving the time. Come get me home. 'Cause nothing's wrong today. Wrong today. Across the path, but we look the other way. A dime a dozen all the tales in which we live. Well, Mama says you call it lost moon debris. And I'm alone, that's all I know. Well, don't be long. You're feeling me, we're saving the time. Come get me home, 'cause nothing's wrong today. Wrong today. And nothing's wrong, wrong. No, no, no. Wrong, wrong. Feels so good. Nothing's wrong, wrong. Feels so good. Feel like nothing. No, no, no. Wrong, wrong. Feels so good. Wrong, wrong. Feels so good. And I can see we like you a while. Still there's more to come.
Arena football has landed in St. Charles. The Missouri Monsters are here and kick their season off on March 8th at 7:30 inside the renovated Family Arena. Monsters football is fast action, high-scoring fun for the whole family. Tickets start at just $7. Get season tickets by calling 636-395-0896. Tickets are on sale now and are available at the Family Arena box office or at MetroTix.com. St. Charles, get ready because there are now monsters in the Little Hills.
Hey, it's Coach from my friends at Rookie's Bar and Grill right here in Wentzville, where every Wednesday night is steak night. This is a deal you just can't beat. $8.49 will get you a steak and a side. $2 extra will buy you a salad. Oh, yeah, and they do $2 Bud Selects all day on Wednesday as well. And don't forget about their $1.25 draft beers during every Cardinal, Blue, Ram, and Mizzou sporting event. That's Rookie's Bar and Grill, 1544 South Service Road, right here in Wentzville, Missouri.
If you feel that quitting smoking is a mission impossible, it's time to try the real alternative to smoking cigarettes. Start vaping with USA Puff and Stuff. Why waste your money on gas station throwaways? USA Puff and Stuff works with you to get the perfect combination the first time. Your vaping experience begins with education, and you get to try it before you buy it. With over 100 flavors to choose from, tobacco, menthol, Havana banana, blueberry, and even maple-cured bacon. All flavors made right here in the United States. The premium kit sells for $64.95 and includes 2 batteries, 2 clear tanks, heating elements, hard case, charger, and a lanyard. 30 milliliters of e-juice sells for $12.95, and once you try it, you'll realize there is no alternative. Located inside Old Town Kettles and Cups, 13 East Pierce Boulevard in Wentzville, or at usapuffinstuff.com. It's time for you to start vaping today.
Times change, people change more. Know yourself and we will win this war. Too many problems, not enough solutions. You're in the equation, but you're nothing but a nuisance. A nuisance. We're gonna change your mind. Look inside yourself and find it. Find fear. Your life is over here. You want to fade from time. Reaching out from the inside your face. Well, it'll disappear with years. In a dying world, we are so much more than money and clothes and things we can't afford. You must find a way to break down this door, and you'll find yourself in a brighter world. We're gonna change your mind. Look inside yourself and find hate, find fear. Your life is over here. You want to fade from time, reaching out from the inside your face. Well, it'll disappear with years. Wide awake, I dream of a place where we used to live. Our situations were irrelevant. Don't push your problems on me now. I'll push them back till you fall. I'll push them back till you fall. You must find a way to break down this door. Then you'll find yourself in a brighter world. We're gonna change your mind. Look inside yourself and find hate, find fear. Your life is over here. You want to fade from time, reaching out from the inside your face. Well, it'll disappear with years. We're gonna change your mind. Look inside yourself and find hate, find fear. Your life is over here.
You're listening to Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com.
Our boy Emmett tearing up the intros, man. That dude's a stud.
It's one of those guys you just call up and go, could you do one of those things where you make your voice go this way and a lot of explosions and make it sound cool and give it to me in 7 hours?
I texted him when I called him last night. I was like, all right, so I'm pretty much a slacker, and, you know, I just wait till the last minute on everything. I said, I need to get an open for a show, and I need it for tomorrow night. He's like, I'll get it done.
You guys knew you were going to be here all of, what, 12 hours ago?
Yeah, I think he called us right after you called Emmett.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it was last night, and then I got a text this morning that they were going to come in for sure, and I was like, sweet, so we should fly through this, because during the breaks we keep bringing up all this good stuff we can talk about, so let's get into that, because we basically want to pick into the industry of what you guys have learned, where you're at now, what you're learning in the process of making, Who Killed or Saved the Music Industry, the documentary. What do you guys call it? A rockumentary? Documentary? What are you calling it?
It's a documentary. We don't, what we filmed so far, like I said before, has been kind of what's within arm's reach, other rock related.
The trailer is badass. I mean, I get pumped when I watch it. I'm like, damn.
Great idea.
Where are we going?
We're doing our job so far, then.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like we said, we want to branch out and really cover the full genre spectrum, because this transition we're going through, this paradigm shift, is affecting everyone in every facet of the music industry, every genre, every rung of the ladder from road crew all the way up to record executives. So
Never thought about the road crew. No one ever thinks about the road crew, do they?
no.
Should they or not?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, they should.
They're
Absolutely.
Those guys are family, right? At least from the outside looking in, and from the people that I've known, those guys are the guys that make it all happen. Those are your guys, right?
Dude, and a lot of times they're the most talented people out on the road, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for real.
I mean, you don't want to be out on the road with some road guy who's an asshole, do you?
It depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that asshole
Maybe
in
you
your
do.
corner.
I don't
need the right
I
kind
don't
of
know.
asshole.
Yeah, the right kind the bleached asshole is what
Right.
we look for.
Yeah.
Have you ever brought a guy out on the road who was your buddy, and then he wasn't so good, and you had a dome to?
Yeah.
Okay. See, we're the worst
Yeah.
businessmen of all time because everyone that came on the road with us was our buddy.
Right.
That's how we
Regardless
did it
of
too,
their
because
skill
we could
level.
barely
We asked
pay
him to join our band because he was our buddy. He'd never even played the bass guitar. So
I didn't own a bass or bass amp. But you want to play
we're
bass,
like,
man?
this,
Oh, it's easy, man. You got it.
Yeah.
Don't
Four
worry.
strings. I can hit the shit.
yeah.
Actually, the people don't understand how hard bass is. Like most guitar players, like, oh, I'll just play bass. Dude, it's not that easy.
No, I
It's
played it
just
like
not.
a guitar player for years. It took me a long time
Did
to
you
actually
use a pick? when
Yeah,
you did-
I mean, I still do because
Do you?
it makes sense with our band. But
yeah, the pop, the snap that you're getting on it, and
yeah, but it's being a bass player as part of the rhythm section and doing your job in the right place in the band that's difficult. It's not about just playing the thing physically,
right.
So
Finding your little pocket to put in that
Yeah.
makes the band sound. I mean, because obviously, everyone in St. Louis obviously have seen you guys play that are probably listening to the show and know of Story of the Year and Greek Fire. I mean, always great live shows.
Thank you.
Always,
Thanks, man.
it's well rehearsed. You know what I mean? And it's some of these bands take rehearsal as practice. You should be practicing on your own.
Yeah.
Rehearsal is for rehearsing what you practiced and getting ready for a show.
Dude, that's been
And
my
that's-
philosophy since day one.
That's a big problem when I think a lot of bands. They think
it's
that
homework.
practice is yeah.
Dude, you got to do your
Go
homework
home and learn
then
your stuff.
When
Yeah.
everyone gets in a room, you got to have your homework done.
Right. Just who's the teacher? then that guy's the asshole in the band because he's trying to tell everybody what to do, right? No, we were talking during the break about CDs, and I asked you guys about do you think CDs are necessary? And then we got on the thing of, because you can get it in so many different ways of the digital media, digital delivery, I guess you could say. But
what we're starting to see now is, like, I think physical media, be it a cassette tape, you're seeing that shit now. Bands are making cassette tapes again, CDs, vinyl. Like, I think it's just going to kind of be one of those things where it's a collector's item. Like, I'm really passionate about this band. I love this band. The show is awesome. Like, I want to have this thing in my hand because I'm a super fan, so I'm going to buy vinyl. Never, they might not ever listen to it. But I think physical media in general is just going to be something for super fans. And the rest of the world, it'll be an access model where you want
Souvenirs.
Exactly, it'll be a souvenir.
But the concept of purchasing music or purchasing access to music, I don't think is something that should go away. And I think there's a whole new generation of music fans now that have never bought music. They just see it more as something you just obtain.
yeah, it's something you get for free via
Right.
a torrent site or something.
I have talked to kids. I've signed autographs for kids, and we just wind up shooting shit or whatever. It's like that. I've talked to people that have never bought music. It's just a completely foreign, alien concept.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I think that's a product of like the rate at which the technology just exploded. It was less than one generation where it went from parents buying CDs and tapes to kids having direct access to it. It's more about the player, the device that you have it on, versus the physical
And it's
thing.
not
And
like-
the parents, there's a disconnect. They don't know how to explain. Wait,
Right,
that's actually stealing.
and it's not like me
It's
taking.
actually stealing.
It's not like me taking your phone. It's or your keys or something. It's data. It's
Right,
like
right.
You can't hold data, and that's what. There's a weird disconnect that I think is just the human brain. Just because it's not stealing, I can't put it in my pocket. I can't
Right.
put this MP3 in my pocket. Like.
Well, you made a good point too. As soon as you're a producer that makes these records that everyone is trying to obtain or buy or however they get it, as soon as he wants to do that job for free, then you have no problem giving it away for free. But I mean,
Right.
all this whole process cost these bands and musicians all this money to do. It's not free on their end. If it was free, I don't think anyone would bitch one way or another. It's just something they love to do, and I'm sure there's fringe benefits, and you'd make money on tour and things like that.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Right.
a couple things. One, the upside is that, with the explosion of this amazing technology in the last, 10, 20 years, music has never been cheaper to produce. I say produce in the sense of
Create.
Record
and distribute. Think about
correct.
that. When you were cutting your teeth as a little youngster trying to be in a band, remember going to Kinko's and making flyers and covering, vintage vinyl and all the stuff with
I
flyers and making samplers and trying to
Oh, yeah.
I remember. I mean, dude,
Trying to sell CDs out of
think
your...
about then. like,
Buying a stack of 100.
Yeah.
With some just paper.
dude, now you can do that on your sofa.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Everything straight to YouTube, everything,
Yeah.
all the marketing, through social media and...
But I think, dude, I am, ask anyone in my friend group, I am the eternal optimist, but I think it's inevitable that music will just be free. It already is free,
So what's the answer to that?
Dude, I don't know.
From a monetary standpoint
Well, I
from
go-
the industry, how do these bands survive then? How do we? Obviously people are still going to do it because they love to do it. And there was a quote on even your trailer that one guy said, "Well, I'm going to, I don't care if I'm piss poor broke or not. I love doing this. I'm going to continue to do that." And I think that's the attitude that some will take, but. There's also this, like you
Somebody's
said,
making money.
Well, yeah, somebody's making money, but then you got a kid. You got to be a provider. How do these artists sustain?
So here's the thing. I remember talking to Keith from Every Time I Die. He's one of the people out there it should be free, And if that's just how it is, it should be free. Music as a product is, in the grand scheme of things, is kind of a temporary thing. For hundreds of years, no one paid for music. You just sat on the corner and and whatever.
Right.
But I don't know. I find myself going back and forth. I have these little moments where I'm like, dude, maybe it should be free. Maybe it just belongs to the world and everything.
And I do too.
But then I go back and I obviously have a biased opinion, but dude,
it's your paycheck.
well, it's not that. Here's what it is, dude. The most valuable commodity in life is time. And the time I have to spend away from my family, the time I have to spend making that music, I have to go leave my family for a month, 6 weeks, and go sit in a studio in LA or wherever in Virginia and record it. The amount of time that I have to pour my everything, it's like 6 months, a year, I spend pouring everything I have, every ounce of everything I have into making this art, maybe I should be compensated for that time, maybe... You know what I'm saying?
You should be.
Well, maybe that has value outside of someone coming to my show or buying a T-shirt, whatever. Maybe, I don't know.
Right. If the outcome of that time is something that people do connect with and they do value, whether it's a song or a product that you invented, or or a movie, if people value it and they want it, you should be compensated. If it's shit, of course you're going to get nothing.
Apple sure as hell doesn't hold back on charging for an iPod.
Right,
if you think about it, they spent all this time developing this product, and that's where all these are going digitally and downloading to, and then you're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Were you still making a point?
No, I guess.
I
guess in the most basic sense, as unromantic as it is, and as much as it might cheapen music, it comes down to the fact that we are creating a product on some level, And what's happening right now, or what's been happening for the past couple decades, is that the music industry has been looted. We're essentially in a state of, it's like a riot, and it's there for the taking because data is, it's just available to us, and there's this kind of psychological disconnect where, if you can take it, you will. That's how humans work. So, here we are.
Don't be a taker.
Well, some argue that the democratization of of art in general is there's people out there. It's it should just be free. We've talked to these people, and then there's especially the record label people that
hell
say no,
hell no.
It's the polar opposite.
We wanted to dig into the industry. I know you were kind of talking with the labels.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with the record labels is The 360 deals, I don't even have a problem with that.
What is a 360 deal?
Well, basically, they're dabbling into every ancillary income that the band has, as far as merchandise, touring,
so we
endorsements,
we give you
publishing.
We give you $500,000.
No, they'll give you like 50.
We give you $50,000.
They're dipping into every source of income,
and then we take a piece of everything that
everything.
you make.
Well,
touring,
and
publishing.
I'm not necessarily blaming them for that. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's a bad thing.
I think it's a very short-sighted temporary solution to an ultimately large, crazy problem.
I agree 100% with that statement, 120%. I just think that there's other things that they're doing. If they're wanting to take that portion of things, like little ancillary incomes, and try to feed back in because people aren't buying physical product anymore, why does it cost a band on a major label a tour supply rate of $7.50 to buy an album from a label that costs them 80 cents to print?
Yeah.
And they get percentages? Come on.
Well,
even 50-50 would be nice.
See, the thing is...
it might as well just crack it off in your ass now and say, well, you guys are never going to make it. We're going to make a lot of money, but you guys are screwed. And that's kind of what I feel like the industry has done to these smaller bands that aren't like Lady Gaga that are selling 12 million records.
Yeah. That's the factor right there. Because, I talk to people all the time, especially the younger people. It's like, first of all, if a record deal... And, if that was the answer to all your dreams and you think that's like, you hit a home run, all of our problems are over, this is nothing new. That's shit. That's, your work has just begun. Your journey has just begun. Getting a record deal doesn't mean shit, It never has. You know how, like, in the glory days, you know how many bands, like, you got signed, made a record, and it never came out? It just got shelved. Bands you would never, ever, ever hear of. They got really good deals. Labels said, wrong, it's not the right time. I'm not really feeling this. Shelved,
Happened to a lot of St. Louis bands.
Yeah,
it really has. I mean, if you talk about New World Spirits,
absolutely,
The Urge, huge here and huge in the Midwest and other places as well.
Yeah.
They sign a big record deal and the record's pretty much non-existent nationally. And and I'm not digging on them at all. One of my favorite bands and one of the hardest working bands and one of the smartest bands as far as merchandising and things like that and their live show. I mean, it was something no one ever saw around here. I mean, it was just something different.
Dude.
If I had a point.
To
go ahead.
My point. But like that's nothing new. That a record deal and all being the salvation, the answer to all your problems, champagne, limos, dude. No.
That's always been bullshit.
That's always been bullshit. But now more than ever, a record label doesn't, in my opinion, where we are with this journey so far, it doesn't make sense anymore to most bands. But there's record labels can still offer a lot of resources if you're, especially in the top 40 world, in the country world. If you want to be a big artist, like like a Will.i.am, like a Justin Timberlake, a Lady Gaga, something like that, like you need that machine behind you. Lady Gaga would not be where she's at without a machine, without millions and millions of dollars, But for most bands, especially in rock music, you don't need that shit anymore. You don't. It costs
You don't need all those lights and...
Dude, it costs pennies on the dollar what it used to cost to make a record, and you can make it sound good. I could take your laptop right there and make a pretty good sounding demo.
We were talking about that today on the Tom and Jeff show,
dude,
about
how awesome
the
is
old
that?
tape, because Jeff had asked if we would do the old reel-to-reel, the 2-inch tape.
Yeah.
And when we first started recording, Pro Tools was just coming out, and you did the 2-inch, and then you dropped it into Pro Tools and kind of did the editing process, or like an auto-tune or something like that. But... nowadays, those reels of tape aren't cheap either.
Yeah.
And I know Foo Fighters did their last record on it, and it sounds. Obviously, it sounds amazing.
Dude, it's that warm kind of organic. But dude, let's face it, no one does that shit anymore. Foo Fighters does, handful of people. No one records on tape anymore.
No, it's too
fucking expensive.
It's way too expensive,
and it's unnecessary ultimately.
Yeah, at the end of the
Especially
day,
since
because you're still dropping down to a digital format.
And
It's a
this is what
specific
most
sound,
people listen
whatever.
to music out of,
Right. Until
He's
you're
holding
carrying
up an
around a
iPhone.
2-inch track, 2-inch tape.
I love it too. I'm old school in that regard. I like humans playing
The analog-
instruments.
yeah, the
I wanna
analog
hear,
sound
I want to
and-
hear a singer go a little out of tune because of the emotion. I want to hear a guitar player rip the strings off the fretboard. I'm a little old school and I want to hear humans.
Right.
But the way technology is now, it's a fucking awesome time to be an artist because, and this is the upside to all this, is that you can take a laptop and you can make a demo, you can make a recording, you can make a song, you can make an album, you can put it on iTunes yourself. Like you're talking about Greek Fire, no label. We do everything ourselves. We just make music when we have time. We put it on iTunes through TuneCore, and
you guys use TuneCore because that was one of the things I want to get into. Basically with the Midwest Music Explosion, explain all these different options.
Well, like, dude,
I've used TuneCore and I've used CD Baby.
We spent a significant amount of time, like over a year or two, just like talking to labels. I had label dudes flying to my house. We were playing for them in the basement and like all this stuff. And finally, we were just like, dude, what are we doing? Like, what's a label going to really do for me right now that we can't just do ourselves?
Somewhat of a check up front, but not anything what it used to be.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we sign away everything, sign one of those 360 deals where it's like, like it doesn't make sense for us. It might make sense for, whoever. That's awesome. But for us, it doesn't make sense. We're artists. We just like to create. I can make music. I can put it on iTunes myself. If people want to buy it, that's awesome. And there's no label. There's no publishing. There's nothing. It's just dudes that like to make music, and we put it out there. If you want it, that's awesome. But
do you think the market gets oversaturated because of that process at this point?
Dude, absolutely.
Just because you can doesn't mean it's good.
That's the thing. Is that old saying, "The cream rises." Is like, I know it's the biggest cliche that there is, especially in terms of music.
Yeah.
But it's true. There's so much shit out there, and there's so much noise. The only way to cut above it is to be spectacularly awesome. And to be genuine and be the genuine article and to be real and to say something with your lyrics and to be believable. And that's good for everybody. Because the stuff that cuts through, that's for a music fan, that's great,
Right.
Like you're like someone like Adele, that she's not attractive. Like
we were talking about this the other day. Do you think she's fat?
Yes.
Well,
I just think she's a big girl.
That's not in a bad way.
She's not sloppy.
She'll call herself fat.
No, but I didn't mean to like down or anything. But like,
no, I know what you're saying though. I mean,
she doesn't fit the stereotype that has been put in front of everyone's eyes for the last forever in entertainment industry.
That's what I love about her.
She's undeniable talent, is what it comes down to.
When she sings, it's like
she is someone that Gaudier, something like that. That's just like you can't deny it. It's organic. It's
the first couple of times I heard that song, I'm going, "What is this?" And then, all of a sudden, you're just like, "Man, this is like really cool,
dude." It's undeniable. Like, even if you hate it, it's undeniable. Like,
the Luminaires, awesome.
Yeah,
I love them too. And I don't know, I'm a big Blind Melon fan. I don't know if you guys are Blind Melon. I know Tom is too.
Yeah.
And that I loved that because it was so different and kind of indie sounding.
Yeah.
But
see,
and everyone's you either love them or hate them.
Labels won't take chances on a lot of stuff. So now, I think this is a real, like we were interviewing Fred Durst, and he was like, this is the best time for art. You're going to see all these people come out doing it themselves and doing it for the right reasons, and with the tools and the resources everyone has at their fingertips. You're going to see an explosion of just like legit art.
Hence the Midwest Music Explosion. I'm just kidding.
So I try to be an optimist.
That was cheese. I know. I'm just kidding.
We're really optimistic about it. Like
we should be.
Maybe the money's gone, but like, dude, as a music fan and as a music creator, I'm never going to drive a Porsche. I'm never going to live in the hills. But
don't say that,
dude. I don't fucking care about that. I don't care. But dude, I'm like,
who buys a Porsche regardless?
There's that.
There's that.
Not me.
But I feel like now is, like Fred Durst said in the trailer, now is the time. This is where the real artists are really going to shine, and the opportunities for those artists that may have made a great album, that got a huge record advance back in the day, and the shit got shelved because the timing wasn't right, or their album was coming out, and like, dude, think about the bands that try to release an album and on 9/11, those bands were fucked. Those bands ceased to exist.
I was supposed to be in New York on 9/11. Our record was supposed to come out 2 months later. We were starting to tour at Puddle. We were supposed to be in New York City that day, and it got pushed back a week, and we were there the week after.
Hold on, time out. Zero. Tell me this again. So 9/11 was on a Tuesday. No?
It was a Monday, I think, wasn't it?
Either way,
regardless,
when was September 11th?
There are bands that were supposed to make it that didn't because of 9/11?
No, I'm just saying that there are all these unforeseen factors and events that regardless of how much money a label, historically may have put into your band, it was a roll of the dice. But now everything's entirely in the hands of the artist. It's not this one shot that you have based on this $1 million deal that you signed.
The record comes out September 11th, and something happens, and it did.
Yeah,
dude, it's all in the hands of the artist. So
forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right about this. I remember hearing that POD was one of those. I've heard a lot of stories like that, but I'm pretty sure their record was supposed to come out. But like, do you think about where the nation's mindset was there for like months after September? No, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No one.
Music.
Music wasn't on the top of mind.
No, you were listening to Rage Against the Machine, going, "I got to get geared up, man.
Right.
Shit's
so
coming."
like, that makes
just got real, man. Just got real.
shit got real.
So now that it's not about spending your entire youth to get to this point where, okay, we're signed and now we're going to make it, and either it's going to work or it's not, and either you become a rock star or you go on with your life and become a plumber or whatever. Now it's entirely in the hands of the artist. So it's not about that one moment anymore. It's about being an artist, as long as it takes. If that's the way you want to go about it. And you look at a dude like Macklemore, this rapper who had a #1 single. He's only the second artist in history to have a #1 single as an unsigned artist, Lisa Loeb being the first, which in my opinion was kind of an anomaly given, the traditional model. But I feel like Macklemore and dudes like that are the future, so.
Well, in a really like a short and sweet, broad sense, you're going to get a lot of artists that are no longer trying to play, let's please the record label guy, let's please the A&Rs. It's just, that game's over, man. Like, people are just going to write music for, hopefully for the right reasons and from a genuine place. And it's not about like getting that deal anymore and pleasing this A&R guy or this programmer, this radio programmer anymore. It's just about, I'm just going to do what I want to play and just, that's it,
Yeah.
In a perfect world, that's all this everything that's happening now should, in a perfect world, be really, really great for art,
Absolutely. I mean,
but those artists also have to be, business and marketing masterminds and really be like kind of renaissance.
And what they think might be really
arts,
simple and even strange, I'm kind of segging into where we're going next. We got to take a break here real quick. So I'm going to jump into the break, but doing videos for YouTube, like lyric videos, just getting that out there for the exposure, things of that nature, is things you can do. Joe Pro did one for a band called Cannibal Road, and we're going to go ahead and play that on the video. So if you're on the streaming video, you can check that out. It's something your band can do. It's simple. You're not spending a ton of money doing a video shoot all day. You need a black background, and the lyrics need to go out as you do the song. It's very simple to do. Put it up on YouTube and let people get it and let people grab the lyrics, see if it touches them, that kind of thing. So we'll be back in a few. This is Cannibal Road on TalkSTL.com. We'll see you here in a bit.
It doesn't really matter because either way they'll
offering of the dead. We are the used to be misled. We are the bastards, and may you never take us home.
Midwest Music Explosion. On TalkSTL.com.
We need to send some nice stuff to Emmett. I'm liking the rejoin. Feels good.
We'll send him a Story of the Year Rockstar Energy drink signed.
Well, you kind of know the history of Midwest Music Explosion. I know Joe does. I don't even know if Coach does. Coach is sitting over here in the back here, kind of quiet. But Adam, Ryan, I don't know back when The Point did the Point Essential albums, and they stopped doing the Point Essential albums, and I had just gotten done with Modern Day Zero and looking for other things to do, and I always was involved in the local music scene. Wanted to keep that Point Essential thing going because I thought it was huge for the bands. And I partnered with a little indie label that was starting out of St. Charles called Code 5 Records, and I did my little imprint, Bullet 339, and we put out Midwest Music Explosion Compilation, Volume 1. And we had bands like Stir on it. Like, that was the first time they had played in St. Louis together, and I don't know how long. Got one of their songs that got shelved to Capitol. They got the release for it to put it on the album to kind of launch off this whole Midwest Music Explosion. Kevin Gagnapane was involved. And I had my tour manager at the time, Joe White, that did it. It went so well, we went ahead and did a second one, and then it just kind of died out for me. You know, it didn't do everything I wanted it to do, and I wanted to get more behind it. And so Joe started pushing me on this with all this going on, and with the Tom and Jeff show, and then Talk STL, and this gives us a platform to kind of do this again. And by no means do I want to take over what Cornbread does over at the Point, because Cornbread's a great friend of mine. I actually want to have him come out here and do a show here where he might actually be able to slip up a little bit and say shit if he wants to, But just to do this now for me is kind of like what you guys are doing with your video and exploring other things that excite you in the industry, in music itself, with the video production side of things, and actually the research behind it of what's going to happen. Because obviously you guys are still very busy with your music careers as well, let alone making an entire documentary and traveling and filming and editing and producing. And that's a lot. That's a lot of work.
Dude, I've never worked so hard in my life for like one.
Here, can pop up on that mic a little bit, just so. Sorry, buddy.
This is the hardest I've ever worked in my whole life, for like 1/50th of the money. But I've
literally.
Yeah.
Did you guys think you would make the goal on Kickstarter? Did you ever in your mind doubt that you would not make it?
At first, we did a lot of research.
Tell them. Sorry, go ahead.
We did a lot of research. We looked at projects that seemed similar in scope and I guess appeal, and we set our goal based on that. We really did our homework, and I remember thinking like, okay, there's X, Y, and Z, these 3 other projects that made 35, 40 grand. What the fuck is this even about? We can pull this off. We have this huge fan base, So we went for it, and then we were, we had a good start, and then a couple weeks in, we're like, I had this revelation, this epiphany. I went, holy fuck. We're trying to ask all of these fans to give us money to make a movie about why they don't pay for shit anymore. Yeah. What the fuck?
You're exposing them.
Yeah, so we kind of shit our pants for a minute, but
not that the whole film is about.
See, I never got that.
But
I never got that from watching, because when you guys came into the Tom and Jeff show and talked about, I think it was like 2 weeks before the deadline for the Kickstarter thing, and we were watching the video because we had just became aware of it at that point. And when I watched it, we're all sitting here going, "Man, this thing just looks great." I think the concept of it is great. Yeah, great idea. And coming from the music back, obviously you got 2 guys that played, music. That they might have played a band one week, and then a week later they're like, "Well, what happened to that band? Remember that song? That was a good song." And it's the same kind of, and they've been through it when it was at the height of these bands coming through. They ruled the world, and to where they come in, they pull in a Yugo, and they're driving around touring with their drums stacked in the front seat, and things like that. But it's just the reality of it.
Yeah, but like you said, it's not just about that, but there is, the entire reason we decided to make this documentary is because we're in a time and place in the music industry where things are different because people don't buy music anymore. We're moving to something else that ultimately I think is going to be a better place for artists and music listeners, but that's kind of the root of this whole thing. So we had this epiphany where we're like, how the fuck are we going to pull this off? Like, we're not going to make our goal. We're going to get $0 because that's the way Kickstarter works. But then, as we started to kind of figure out the social networking thing and how to run the Kickstarter campaign, we gained a little confidence, and in the 11th hour, everybody just jumped on board, and we exceeded our goal.
So you were did you hit it on the day that it was supposed to hit, or did you clear it before?
It was about probably 18 hours before, I guess.
No, it came down to 18 hours.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of the nature of most Kickstarter campaigns that are successfully funded. I mean, you got the handful that are, like Amanda Palmer, the highest grossing Kickstarter campaign of all time. Her goal was 100,000, wasn't it?
Yeah,
she's a solo artist.
She hit it in 7 hours.
Yeah,
wow.
and they did like 1.2 million.
Yeah, ultimately went over $1 million.
But the majority of them, you have this big surge at the beginning,
on top
low
of
period,
that,
and then
on top of that,
kind of come through in the end.
The other thing that makes it a little different is that there are fans out there that know, kind of have the inside scoop on Story of the Year, and Adam and I were kind of the, outside of the songwriting, that we were kind of the creative force, like with the visual aspects of our band, the videos, like the CD layouts and blah blah, all that stuff. But other than that, the thing that made it different is that we weren't asking people to be a part of a project that had anything to do with the Story of the Year record. Like, we were asking, what I'm saying? That makes it different. If we were trying to raise money, make a Story of the Year record, it would have been a completely different thing than asking people to invest in us as creative people to make a film. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's like a whole different thing,
I remember when you posted the one thing on Facebook, you can look at all the analytics and the statistics of your posts and the reach of everything on Facebook, and the biggest one was one that he started out directed at Story of the Year fans, and was something like, we've been through so much with you guys, and we were kind of asking Story of the Year fans to help us reach this goal and make this movie, and everyone thought it was like a breakup letter, so everyone flipped shit, and it got 10 times the views of all the other shit that we were trying to push, and that was kind of another moment where we were like, oh fuck, what are we trying to sell these kids?
But dude, it's been honestly, it's been pretty mind blowing as we talk to artists, and a lot of these same conversations we're having now, we've had with, we're touching on a lot of the same subjects is with the artists, and dude, it's fascinating to watch everyone's just see the wheel spinning. Everyone just opens up, and it's like actually hard. Like, it is hard for us to stop talking right now.
Right.
As we're interviewing these people, it's like everyone
same thing. They got the same vibe, the same.
The floodgates just open, and it's just everyone has so much to say about this, because in the grand scheme of things, we're all trying to figure it out.
When you're talking, I know you've interviewed a lot of artists, and you guys are interviewing industry people as well, like label peeps and everything like that.
Producers, managers, everything.
Are you getting the same vibe from them that it's a new time, that the wheel's getting reinvented, and that they feel like they have a grasp on it, or it's just kind of every day goes by, it's something new, we just got to stay on top of everything and utilize everything that's available, which is almost like 10 times the work of what it used to be.
Yeah.
For 10 times less the return.
It's kind of all
with all the I'm just talking social medias. You got like 10 email addresses. You got all this stuff that you have to keep up on.
Yeah, it's all of the above. I think, especially with the younger bands, they realize that you can't just pick up a guitar and write a song and just go fuck off. You have to.
Oh, you can't?
Nope. You got to be all over Twitter. You got to be all over Facebook. You got to be talking to every fan, every last fan that comes through. After your show, you have to go sit at the merch booth. You have to be a marketing genius. You have to be a people person. You have to be a businessman. And then somewhere in the mix, you have to make art,
Right.
It's not like the old days for most bands. For most bands, anyway. There's still some bands that just walk off stage and can sit in their bus and never send a tweet or anything. But for almost every band in the world, you have to just cover this broad spectrum. That you just have to cover every single base, or you don't have a chance, And,
right. And I definitely don't think you guys want anyone to think that, bands nowadays and the things that are going on are like, people, well, quit whining, there was bands in the past that didn't make it and all this stuff. Well, yeah, there's always those bands, like, bands that toured forever with, like, Bon Jovi almost didn't make it. You know what I mean? Things like that they just didn't have that right break and it just didn't line up for them. That happens all the time, too.
Dude, timing is everything. And, dude, look at a band like Fun.
Yeah.
They're like the biggest band in the world. Dude, a lot of people don't know. I mean, they spent 10 years. That band spent 10 years trying to get after it, and they just never relented. They never gave up, and look at them now.
Well, one of the bands I was working with, Cavo, that was 99, 2000, and they didn't get a deal to 2008.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, damn near 10 years. And we had album after album and song after song and single after single and shopping after shopping after shopping. And then the one song that we think, it might make it. And then all of a sudden just boom.
But that's what separates people that love it and people that are just like, like 15 pieces of flair, like Office Space. That all they want to do is the bare minimum. If it doesn't work, who cares?
15 pieces
you know what I'm saying?
of flair.
That's what separates the true artist that invest their heart and soul and are just ready to sacrifice life and limb for their art. That's what that's what separates people.
Chris Sanders in the chat room asked the question: at what point do you get too tired of pushing your music all the time? And it's a good question because sometimes you almost feel like you're begging.
Dude, honestly, I'll tell you, 2010, Story of the Year went on hiatus because it was just...
Too hard.
It was just too much. It got to the point where it was like...
It was 2007 for me.
I think I speak for you, too. It was just like... It's not
We've
that
been
it
shoving
was...
shit down people's throats for years.
Well, but...
Yeah.
But for okay, I won't even speak for him. I'll speak for me. Music is such a... It's
so nice of you.
Yeah. It's I know I'm speaking for him too, but music is such a sacred thing to me. It's such a personal thing that if I'm not giving it 100% of my heart and soul, I don't want to do it.
I understand. That's the same thing that happened to me in 07.
Yeah,
It was just like I was burnt.
Yeah,
I was
in
done.
2010, it was just like, man, we're 4 albums in. We're doing all these tours for no money and trying to do the same thing, trying the same things and expecting a different result, and we got kind of burnt out. It was like, we need to go away and reinvent ourselves. We need to all take a giant, big breath, step away, and come back at this thing fresh. And dude, if it's not, if it's not 100% authentic and from the right place, like I'm not interested, and I know these guys aren't interested. So we had that's 2010. It's like we went away for a couple
do
of
you
years.
have a date and a time?
No.
No time, just that. But no,
Did it feel right to come
nighttime.
back then? I mean, obviously now, but was there a moment where it was like, okay, we've had our breath, and let's all come back
I'm
together?
going to be completely honest with you. In 2010, we were like, I found this like life-saving creative outlet through Greek Fire. That's another band. I want to do that until I'm a fucking skeleton. Like with those same dudes, I love that is my like artistic everything. But I'll be honest with Story of the Year, it was like a couple months after we took a hiatus. I was like, man, I want to start doing this again. But we all said, let's hold off a couple years. Let's wait literally years before we do anything and wait till our 10-year anniversary and make it special and make it an actual event instead of us just being bored,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. Like, it's been a rough couple years. I'll just be honest with you,
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Coming from where you guys came from, the big studios, the big production, your next album, is it going to be a big production? Is it going to be something you try to do mostly on your own, maybe have someone else mix it? And what advice would you have for younger bands that are trying to make their first... they don't have the success that Story of the Year had in 2002, and they're trying to get to that next point. Give them some advice on what they should look for in a studio and what they should do. Because I know I have my piece of advice for it. I mean, you got to do your research. You got to make sure that your money's being well spent. The studio's got to have somewhat of a reputation. Find out what that reputation is, because if they have a reputation of just recording bands and regurgitating them out and they're never getting any airplay, well, there must be a problem with what's coming out of there because it doesn't sound good enough to get where it needs to go.
Dude, honestly, these days you can make a world-class recording in a bedroom with a laptop. If you have the right engineer, the right producer recording, you're all good. I mean, all the technology you need, you can put in that laptop sitting right in front of you right there. What it comes down to is the songs and in most cases, the producer to help translate those songs to
trim the fat and get them
to the best final version of that song. As an objective observer, as doing a producer's job, make it the best that it can be. Dude, the sound quality is the least of the problems at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna talk like in practical terms, a producer is still, for most bands anyway, self-producing is something that usually doesn't end up turning out awesome for most bands.
It's not always necessarily about talent. It's about that.
It's about a fresh, unbiased ear that's not precious about every single song. Whether that's maybe you have a friend, maybe you have your singer is detached enough to produce. Maybe, it's just that outside fresh set of ears that's coming from some place of knowledge that can, dude. So you need a producer,
Yeah, you need that outside opinion.
But in philosophical terms, like I would tell any band, dude, follow that sound in your head and follow your heart, and don't just make bullshit because whatever 15 minutes is happening. That doesn't matter. And people aren't. That doesn't matter. Do it for the right reasons and bet on yourself and trust yourself, and at least you know.
Yeah.
But also never settle and never let the gears stop turning and just keep writing. Especially,
that's key.
Especially
that is
now
key.
more than ever, you can't say, okay, here's our 10, 12 songs. This is our album. Like you cannot stop writing. Especially in a world where, in an industry that's dominated by solo artists, whether they be pop or hip hop or country, whatever, bands don't have a second to spare. You have to be writing nonstop. So,
dude, even through Story of the Year's hiatus, like outside of Greek Fire and outside of stuff I just write for myself, dude, I've been writing. That's just what I do. That's the way my brain's programmed. I'm supposed to make music,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do it.
When you write stuff for yourself, is it truly for yourself? Do you know it's for yourself?
Oh, yeah. I have some stuff slips through the cracks where, like, I'll send these guys a demo. It's like, yeah, this probably won't work for our band, but it might, maybe. I don't know. But I have all kinds of stuff that I just do. I'll be sitting in my living room. This is a really sweet riff, and I'll just turn it into a song and put drums behind it. And it's just what I'm supposed to do. I'm always writing. Like, always,
Very
That's what
cool.
I do.
Well, let's jump to another break. Well, we got about another 20 minutes left or so. I mean, we can go a little long if we need to, but take another break. Want to talk about a show that's coming up at Pops on April 13th. Obviously, the Brook Royal CD release party with very special guest Shaman's Harvest, Fivefold, Countable Road, who you heard earlier in the lyric video produced by Arch City Video over there. OATM, and tickets are $5 in advance, $8 a day a show. Doors are at 6:30. Get your asses down there, support some local music, and have some fun. Speaking of Brook Royal, this is their song Put Up, featuring Mr. Dan Marcella from Story of the Year.
I know that dude.
You know that
You guys
guy?
know that guy?
I know that guy.
I used to could.
I bet you he shows up at that show.
You know what? He might just make an appearance, right? This is Put Up by Brook Royal. We'll be back after these little short messages.
Everything is building up, it's more than I can tell.
If you feel that quitting smoking is a mission impossible, it's time to try the real alternative to smoking cigarettes. Start vaping with USA Puff and Stuff. Why waste your money on gas station throwaways? USA Puff and Stuff works with you to get the perfect combination the first time. Your vaping experience begins with education, and you get to try it before you buy it. With over 100 flavors to choose from, tobacco, menthol, Havana banana, blueberry, and even maple cured bacon. All flavors made right here in the United States. The premium kit sells for $64.95 and includes 2 batteries, 2 clear tanks, heating elements, hard case, charger, and a lanyard. 30 milliliters of e-juice sells for $12.95, and once you try it, you'll realize there is no alternative. Located inside Old Town Kettles and Cups, 13 East Pierce Boulevard in Wentzville, or at usapufandstuff.com. It's time for you to start vaping today.
Hey, it's Coach from my friends at Rookie's Bar and Grill right here in Wentzville, where every Wednesday night is steak night. This is a deal you just can't beat. $8.49 will get you a steak and a side. $2 extra will buy you a salad. Oh, yeah, and they do $2 Bud Selects all day on Wednesday as well. And don't forget about their $1.25 draft beers during every Cardinal, Blue, Ram, and Mizzou sporting event. That's Rookie's Bar and Grill, 1544 South Service Road, right here in Wentzville, Missouri.
Washed up, strung out, living in a blackout world, spinning out of control. Face down, messed up, never gonna be enough, just another part of the show. You finally fall away, the lights are fading, you wear it on your face, the cracks are breaking. Where's your celebrity now? 'Cause we're so lost without you. Where's your celebrity now? So out of control. A million lives could change your life, no matter how far you go. Careful what you wish for, 'cause you just might get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Bright lights, villains with a handout, selling every inch of your soul. Fake life, tired of the letdown, chemicals are starting to show. The lines, they fall away, the fall is never ending. You wear it on your face, the cracks are breaking. Where's your celebrity now? 'Cause we're so lost without you. Where's your celebrity now? So out of control. A million lives could change your life, no matter how far you
Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com.
Welcome back to the Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com. Another big thanks to Emmett for our 24-hour turnaround rejoin. I'm digging it.
Don't get that every day.
No. I about died. I thought he was going to say, dude, there ain't no way. And he's like, oh, yeah, man, I'll bust it. I had it like 10 o'clock last night.
Same thing with these two. Never thought in a million years.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was going to be like
short notice.
Because, well, when I talked to you initially, you said, well, we're going to be in New York next week. And if we don't get in this week, we can, possibly hit the following.
Guys, we made it happen.
It's because you guys are the shit. That's
like
why.
Like that putt that Tom made during the break. See that shit?
Someone said something. Is Tom putting? He said if he hits anybody, can they sue?
Just putting at night.
He hit it in the Tom and Jeff Cup over here on the floor. We were all freaking out. I think Ryan thought it was a mouse at first.
I did.
A dangerous killer mouse.
All the fun we can have, No, but I definitely thank you guys for being here. And joining us for the first show of Midwest Music Explosion. We're planning on doing this every week, Wednesday night, 7 to 9. So if you guys ever come up with anything, have a good conversation, give me a call and say, hey, I want to call in and talk to you about something that that happened. Because as this goes, I'm hoping more people get involved with the interaction on the chat and the emails and things of that nature, and we can kind of see what comes out of it.
I'm going to say this live. You should get in here is Matt Amalong. This guy who he's done some Story of the Year stuff as of lately, and he recorded a shitload of Greek Fire stuff. He works in a studio.
How do you spell his last name?
Amalong. Amalung. A-M-E Lung.
A-M-E.
Long story short, he works at Encapsulated. He's one of two engineers at Encapsulated Studios.
Is that here in St. Louis?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We record with him a lot. He's a super good friend, and he's trying to make a name for himself, and he's doing a damn good job. And
Absolutely.
Talented dude.
Really talented kid.
Matt Amalong. Amalung.
I always spell it wrong. So.
No, I got a couple texts before I started the show. They're like, oh, what are you going to use this show to promote your bands and your studio?
What's with the haters? They're always around.
You know what, dude? If
haters gonna hate.
No, man.
Yeah.
If somebody's not complaining about it, you're not taking enough chances, and you're not being bold enough.
Right. And it's not about being bold. I'll support anybody that shows me that they're doing what they should be doing for these bands instead of taking advantage of them.
Yeah.
And I'm completely cool with that. I'll talk about any studio, any producer. Yeah. Obviously, this guy comes very well recommended from you guys, so awesome.
He's a good dude.
We were talking to Joe Pro about the website and what we wanted to put on there, and he does video stuff, but we want to put other video contacts on there, other photography contacts on there, other studios, so they have options. Instead of searching for studios in St. Louis, hey, come over to our site, look at Midwest Music Explosion, see if there's a studio in there, call them all, get a bid. See, you're gonna find one you like. You're going to find one that, somebody does something with, so that's cool.
Yeah.
What you need, Joe?
Not only that, but any genre, too.
Yeah, it's not going to be based on just rock. We're going to do some country stuff.
Rock is dead, man.
I don't think it's dead in this room, though.
It's not dead.
It's alive in this room tonight, anyway. I know that. That's for sure. We wanted to get into... talking, wrap up a little bit about what the message is of Who Killed or Saved the Music Industry, the documentary that Adam and Ryan are both working on. Do you guys? What are the plans for the release of what? Well, first of all, you wanted to talk a little bit more about what the actual story is about, because we didn't want it to seem like it was a negative thing. We wanted to touch on a positive note.
Ultimately, we're coming from an optimistic, forward-thinking place. Yeah, we've all been through some hard times, but we really believe that we're going somewhere that's going to, like we've said, going to be better for artists and consumers, listeners, fans, So, there's a bright future ahead, and this documentary is more about figuring out where we're going than complaining about the bullshit and, whining about no more big record advances and limos and champagne and bitches.
What's the biggest thing that you guys have found in your research that you think is going to be key to the future of the music industry? Has anything stood out to you like, that's probably going to stick around for a while in the new model, or is it still too soon to really even put anything together like that?
This is a really broad statement, but the thing that hits me right between the eyes every time is that one thing you can't replace is an experience. And a live show, you can steal data all day long. You can trade data all day long. Bands can give out free music. You can do all that all day long. Nothing will replace being in a crowd, surrounded by people covered in sweat, screaming, hearing the sound system, the smells, that is experience.
Do you guys do that yourself still to this day? Do you go to a concert and engulf yourself in the crowd?
It depends on the band.
Depends on the band.
Yeah.
We were talking about this. Me and Tom were talking about this the other day. It's been so long since I've done something like that.
Yeah.
And that used to be me.
Well,
the guy in the crowd up front, and then experiencing the other side. It's like it's hard to kind of put yourself back in that position again to do that.
Well, yeah, especially if you've been in this industry for a long time, you find yourself like it's hard for me to get out of that mindset where I'm usually kind of in the back, watching. Like not judging, but just kind of like looking at the dynamic, like
see how they're doing this.
Notes.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
There's that part of my brain, But then there's certain bands I see that it's just like I turn my cell phone off. I don't look at my phone. I don't touch my phone. I just kind of get lost in the music.
Right,
a band like for me like Smashing Pumpkins or Deftones or something like that. It's just like fuck yeah.
That's a good question. What is your guys' musical influences? I'm sure you've been asked that 1,000 times, but I mean, does that have anything to do or bear anything on what you guys are doing with your documentary? Like, who you're trying to interview and what you think? Is it a lot of rock bands? Is it outside the rock genre?
Well, the ultimate goal is to hit every genre.
Okay.
We're taking a Nashville trip next month.
Let me know. I got some people down there that would probably you could be really good to talk to, like some of the publishing houses.
Yeah, absolutely.
The big community down there is the songwriting. The publishing side of things in Nashville is huge.
Yeah, we're really interested in how people feel in country in general, because for a lot of for most country artists, other than the ones that are crossing over the Taylor Swifts and artists like that.
T-Swizzle.
Yeah.
Dude, it's 1998 still.
Yeah, the internet doesn't matter. People are still buying physical copies at Walmart and Target and shit. So it's a whole different ballgame. We're really interested to kind of get their perspective.
Do you think that has something to do with the 90% of sales by the top 10 artists being because those are the artists that are placed in like a Walmart or a Best Buy? Because their music sections are damn near nothing.
Right.
And it is that top echelon of artists that you find there. You're not going to go find a Brooke Royal CD at Best Buy.
Right. Yeah, I feel like there's a bit of
which pisses me off, but I'm
I feel like there's a bit of a feedback loop where there's all this money being pushed into these top few artists, and because they're doing so well on the marketing side, not only are they up in front of everybody's face, but they're the only shit available. So it's kind of there's a bit of a feedback loop at that top end. I think it's the same thing, with economics. Or any way you look at some kind of dynamic like that. There's this huge gap in the distribution of wealth.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's
definitely.
That's the other the running theme that I think that we keep running into with band after band, artist after artist. Everybody's been hit financially to some degree, whether it's their label, their producer that's working for pennies on the dollar of what they did in the glory days.
Right.
Everybody's had to make adjustments. Everybody's, been hit one way or another, but there's still those people that are absolutely killing it still, because they're a live band and it's a live experience and they bring it live. And to me, it's all about authenticity and being able to bring it live. Like there's people, like we talked about Adele, like somebody like Mumford & Sons. Like, dude, you don't have to be a music guru to know that those bands are those artists are the real deal,
They're real,
if
true
Adele
artists,
walked in this room right now and picked
we'd
up
all
a
be
guitar,
starstruck.
If she picked up a guitar and just started belting it or just a cappella by herself, started singing, like everyone else would be like, yeah, undeniable,
Talent.
And dude, the cream rises, And it's funny, this project started more from I don't want to say a negative place, but like kind of more out of frustration, like talking to other bands on the road and everyone's kind of like, it's 2 a.m. and everyone's had a couple beers and we're all sitting at the bar and everyone's kind of like, man, this fucking sucks, There's a little bit of that, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But the further we go down this road and the more people we talk to, it's just like every day we're more optimistic about it. And at the end of the day, dude, it's about art. It's about music. And I think this new world we're in and this new paradigm shift, it's like I think it's great for art. I think it's
really not much different than what we're even trying to do here. With terrestrial radio versus like the internet station or the podcast. And there's tons of internet stations out there. We're not reinventing a wheel, but we are using a different platform to get our service digitally delivered via live streaming. Mobile apps, on demand, things like that. And I don't know if I'll ask Tom. I mean, do you feel like this is delivering the same thing in a different aspect. I mean, because really that's the same thing music is doing. If you can't get it on the radio and it's dying to the top 10% echelon of what rock and roll is or what pop is or what country is, do we feel like this is the next platform that really works for, or are we still in the same kind of thing of figuring out what it does?
Well, it's just listening to the radio. It's happening all over again. You know, I had to stand on somebody's shoulders to help me get to where I was, and that developing talent. The only way you can develop, the only way you can do that, the only way you can get better live, I would imagine as a musician, I'm just taking a giant leap here, is getting on a stage and actually playing live.
Absolutely.
You can't learn that. You can't read it. You can't, other than just doing that. And without that platform, you can't develop talent anymore. Everyone sucks the first time they do it.
Oh, thanks.
Well played.
I'm just giving him shit. He knows it.
You just didn't pick up a guitar and just all of a sudden just become this amazing act.
Dude, no one is.
And no one does that.
No.
It's, like you said, through experience. And the only way to learn it is to actually do it. And without that platform, it's...
And now the tools are
tough.
more readily available than ever to just do it.
Exactly.
And I
Across
think
the
that's
board
what
with all
the
media.
documentary is going to, too. It, like you were saying, the positive vibe of it. It's like, not that we're down on the way it's going, but trying to even just weed through what's going on and what's working, what's not, and where is it headed.
Where is it heading is the key, because, dude, no one really knows. Everyone has their theories. We all read blogs, and everyone. No one really knows what the industry will look like 5 years from now, 10 years now, what it will be.
If I find that person, I'll let you know, because we could all make a lot of money if he knows what's going on. We can figure it out early.
Yeah.
What are the plans for the documentary after you guys finish it? And I know you kind of have an idea of when you'd like to finish it, but obviously things are going to come up. You're going to get other opportunities, I think, as people get the buzz about what's going on, because I think it's a cool project. Looks really cool. You guys are doing a great job with it. So what are your plans after it's done? How do you plan on doing the distribution of the video? Is there a soundtrack to it?
Oh, good question. Is there?
Good question.
Thank you. I do this for a living.
Wow. No, but that's
I'm
interesting.
kidding.
Is there a soundtrack to the...
Because the trailer had music on it. Obviously, there were songs and everything else.
That was Greek Fire.
Yeah, well, obviously, but I'm just I just didn't know if there was like bands that you were interviewing that you were using
your
their
documentary
stuff.
to promote your own music.
Yeah.
I'm using the show to
Shameless.
promote mine.
Well, dude, there's a lot of different facets. It's not just this film. There's other things we're doing with this film, different facets of this whole project. We've talked about the soundtrack, but that's not anything. I don't have like a definitive answer for you right now.
No, that's
about
fine.
that, but-
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
I was just
and
curious.
as far as releasing it, the producer of the film, we've been going back and forth for a long time now, like talking about different licensing outlets, and there's a lot of different stuff in the works behind the scenes. So I don't really have a definitive answer for you right now as to how we're going to release it, but.
Maybe
There's
a better question in your mind. What would be the ideal scenario for getting this project out for you guys? I mean, is it something like the
Sundance
movie
2016?
Yeah, Sundance, like the film festivals, things like that. Is that where you really want to go with this?
Yeah, I mean, when we first decided, all right, we're going to make this shit happen. Like, we are going to be the masters of our own destiny, and we're going to make it happen, What the plan was, like, dude, no corporations, none of that. We're going to do this ourselves. Even if it's just on iTunes and our grandparents buy it, it's going to be us. Like, we're going to prove a point 2013, 2012, when you can do this now. You don't need a big studio. You don't need a $90,000 camera. Like, you can do this now. That was part of the the plan. But as this project is growing in scope, and the more and more we learn and the more we're putting into it, we're realizing like there's a lot of options out there. So. Maybe we...
And we're turning a lot of heads. A lot of people are interested, so...
Yeah, so maybe it's a thing where we partner with a brand. Maybe it's a thing where we license it to VH1. Maybe we, maybe we sell it to a studio. Like, who knows,
But bare minimum, we're hoping to enter it in some film festivals, have an iTunes or maybe Netflix-type distribution. Bare minimum. It will be available globally to the world. If it ends up on VH1, Fuse... in theaters, places like that, the possibilities are endless, and of course we'd be stoked about those. But
I'd love to see it. I mean, I'd really love to see it hit that kind of a thing and have people understand.
Dude, the coolest
you
thing-
gotta hit those kind of people, like those kids, because they're the ones that really need to understand what it's changed from, where it is now, where it's going, and the more that it's not monetarily or, you know, where people are actually making money doing this, the more it's going to start to fall away because people can't afford to do it.
Yeah.
You know, this film is about the music industry and how we're all, you know, living through this transition, but it's really about all forms of media and entertainment. You know, I guess it started with printed media. You know, when the internet hit, you know, news sites. I guess newspapers were the
Thanks
first
to Al
thing hit.
Gore, we have the internet.
You know, newspapers,
man.
books. You know,
Lovely man.
then music, then movies. You know, all forms of entertainment and media are going through this. So it's
If you need to interview a podcast, Tom and Jeff are available.
Right. It's
Well,
the
dude,
first
let's-
people they're coming to.
Well, think about this too. Like the fact that we can even do this is pretty amazing. Like 10 years ago, like for us, we're doing this on a shoestring budget, sleeping on people's floors. We are hustlers. Like we are in the trenches, like making this shit happen, you know. And on a shoestring budget, 10 years ago, you couldn't do this for what we're doing. Like, you know, like you'd have to spend so much money on a camera, and you need this and that. Like, dude, that's another point we're proving with this film is like the gate. You know, these big corporations and these entities, like they're not the gatekeepers anymore. Like,
Right.
You can raise minimum amount of funding, and you can do this. Like you can make a film or a piece of art or a record or you know, a podcast. Like with technology, how it is now, and the era we're living in, like we can really do this ourselves. You know,
Right.
So to follow up, how do you tell a band who's put their heart and soul, or someone who's put their heart and soul into this project, and you know right away that's no good? I mean, just to your ear.
Well, it circles Fat Mike from NoFX, Fat Records. I think he said it best. It's like, dude, and we touched on it earlier. Like, no one got in this to make money. It's about the love of it. It's about the fun. And if that's not good enough, fucking do something else. You know. I know it's tough.
That's a tough pill to swallow,
dude. And I've been in that same boat. Like throughout this story of the year's whole hiatus, like I've had moments of, you know, I guess you'd call it like self-analysis, like introspection. Like, dude, is story of the year like not a huge band anymore? Like, because we're just okay. Maybe we're not this amazing band that I've always thought we were. Maybe we're just okay. Maybe
I've had those thoughts.
You know, like
not about you, about our band. You know,
thought
just
you guys kind of blew, man. You know?
I couldn't figure out why you guys made it either. I don't know. I'm just kidding. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
I had the same kind of feelings.
I think every artist, especially like, you know, we're not the Rolling Stones or anything, but like, man, we've had a pretty long
You've had
run.
your success,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and so I think that's only I think that's a natural part of progressing as a creative person and as a human being in general. But man, I've had those doubts, you know, but I do it because it's what I'm supposed to do. Like some people are programmed to wire computers. Some people are programmed to build houses. I'm supposed to make art. I'm supposed to make music. I'm supposed to be a creative person. And dude, like to that kid, I would say, man, if you feel it in your bones, like that's what you're supposed to do. Who cares if you make a living? Like, go work a job and do it at nighttime. Do it on the weekends.
Good
It's like,
answer.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
ding.
You know, like because you're not going to make a living at it. Don't let that stop you. You know, I'm not going to be a professional baseball player, but I fucking love to go play catch with my friends, or you know, play softball on a beer league or something. You know, because you love it, you do it. It's not about the paycheck. I mean, that's awesome, but
yeah, coming to terms with the fact that it might not be your living is one thing, but you know, like Ryan said, if you love it, do it. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
that's a good statement. Very nicely said. Very nicely said. Adam with the bomb.
The most profound shit always ends with "Who gives a fuck."
Yeah,
you know. So,
or God damn it,
quote me.
Damn it. Let's take a quick short break. I do want to come back and kind of wrap up and thank everybody that kind of helped us get this first one going. I believe the next song is from Cannibal Road as well. Missing Pages, I believe. The new single from them. They sent us something else. So Cannibal Road, Missing Pages on the Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com. Right now, we'll be back in a few, wrap this up, and talk a little bit more with Ryan and Adam and get out of town. So we'll talk to you soon after this break. See ya.
some odd reason I assumed you'd fight back all on your own. To you, I'm just an afterthought, and I have come to terms with the fact that sooner than later I will stand and watch you burn. Are your bridges to the ground, and comes that ever-pressing sound of my laughter as complacence fills the air and you stir. We are crawling out. We are crawling out from beneath that cloud. That casts a shadow of a doubt. That you become the afterthought. I find it all amusing, yes, I readily admit. In the moment you had to redeem yourself, or you thought that you
even know. I take a chance to really look at those pictures on my wall. Does it ever bother you to think we had it all? Take some time to really look at those pictures on your wall. Wonder if it bothers you to think you had it all. Take a chance to really look at those pictures on the wall. Does it ever bother you to think we almost had it all? Tell the whole world who you are, every last imperfect detail. Leave nothing out, leave nothing out, leave nothing out. The truth is, you don't even know the saddest part.
You're listening to Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com.
We need to turn the lights off and like have some glow sticks going and stuff. Be like, who brought the X, man?
Whose fingers in my butt?
Oh, that was mine. Sorry. Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com. Welcome back. Going to be wrapping up the show. I definitely want to throw out a huge thanks to Adam and Ryan both for coming out here on such short notice.
Dude, absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
What a cool way to launch this show for myself, and I think for the listeners as well, where it's coming from a musician's standpoint, and it's not just for the fans of music, but I want to touch the musicians as well and let them know the opportunity. Touch the musicians as well as far as what they can do, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's changing. They need to, I think, focus in on particular things. It's not about a 15-song album anymore either. They can do a 4-song if they don't have the money to do it. Just make sure whatever you do it right. So if you can only afford 4 right in a studio with a good, decent budget, then that's what you do, because you want to put your best foot forward if this is something you want to do in your career. And that's my belief, and I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Pick your studio wisely.
Yeah.
And dude, there's no rules. You can record a song every 2 months and just never have an album ever. Just put out singles, shoot a YouTube video.
I had that idea. Like, just put a single a month.
Dude, there's people that do that. There's no rules. You don't need
Join our club. You get a free song a month.
You can do. There's literally just there's no rules.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it being in the hands of the artist, like we've been talking about. It's not about a record label's expectations. It's not about what traditionally has worked for them. It's about what an artist chooses to do on their own and how they can make it work.
And I'm a huge fan of albums. I like to.
What was the last?
The story.
The story. It's like I use the analogy as a painting. I want the artist to use every color in his palette and make an awesome painting. I just don't want to see red.
What's in your CD player right now?
I only listen to tapes.
What's a CD player?
Yeah. What's in your iPod? I mean, what are you listening to right now?
Dude, I'm a rock guy.
Rock guy.
I like anything.
Anything new that people should be looking out for that you're finding interesting?
Well, I'll back up a little bit. If I feel like it's genuine and I feel like I believe the lyrics and I believe this I believe the song. I don't care what genre it is. I'm a fan, But that being said,
someone asked what your feelings were on dubstep on the channel.
I love it.
Okay, here's
Do
the
you?
thing. I think there's.
I think I do too. I'm actually really
It's heavy
digging
as
it.
shit.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really. It's cool. I guess.
It's all right. It's
all right.
not your cup of tea, basically.
It's like this. If I want to watch a Michael Bay film, if I want to watch
Michael Bublé.
I think dubstep's great. It's like a Michael Bay film to me. It's like
Right.
big and it's explosive and it's like
Yeah, it's all in your face.
And then there's stuff, but sometimes it's like it's a Michael Bay film, but it's not Pulp Fiction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, the Bob O'Reilly, that's Pulp Fiction. Dubstep, yeah, it's an awesome Michael Bay film with fireworks and explosions and fucking monsters and shit. It's cool,
Definitely monsters.
It just depends on what kind of dude you are,
What are you listening to?
It's cool. It's all cool.
I just got the new Justin Timberlake album.
Did you really?
Yeah. I'm a huge fan. I don't know if
What is it like? Is it old school, like what he was doing in the commercial type thing, or is it?
Yeah,
is
there's
it
a lot of throwback, but
really?
I don't know. I haven't really sat down and
dug into it.
Yeah,
dude, call me mainstream as fuck, call me whatever, but I'm such a fan of Mumford. I think those dudes have talent for days. I love the lyrics. I love that stuff. I love Mumford.
Awesome.
And the and my other go-to song is the new Greek Fire song, A Real Life.
It's gonna change your life.
Where is that?
iTunes, Amazon.com also. It's everywhere.
Well, I'll have to buy it and then make sure I play it on here. I wish I would have had that here. I could have played it here.
Yeah. I should have brought it.
Jeff took it with him.
I of course have a little bit of a biased opinion. These dudes are my brothers, but
Right.
it's the best song of the year, hands down. No bullshit.
Right on.
Thanks, Adam.
We played it on the. Did we play that one on the Tom and Jeff show?
Uh-huh.
That was the one that Jeff brought in that he took with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it also says that I owe everything I've ever accomplished to Jeff Burton. So there you go. That says via
There you
the
go,
chat
Jeff.
room.
You can sleep well tonight.
Sleep well. Thanks. Appreciate it.
A big thanks to Joe Pro for actually talking me into finally doing this and getting this going. This is a cool thing, and I wanted to thank Tom for sitting in with me tonight. And
All I did was drink beer.
well, I think every week we're going to try to, a bunch of the other talents on TalkSTL.com are very interested in the whole music thing as well, and I think they want to sit in on some shows and get involved with the scene as well and see what we can do. So a big thanks to Tom for sitting in for me. You got my nerves out in the first half hour or so, and then I feel fine. I'm good.
All right, then.
I'm going to go home and go to bed now.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. And you guys, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me, and I wish you the best with everything you got going on with Story of the Year. With Who
Door
Killed
is
or
always
Saved.
open, brothers.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you, sirs.
You guys need to definitely come back on Tom and Jeff when you guys get the Story of the Year stuff going.
For sure.
And when you get some news on some tour dates, we'd love to see that. And also about the documentary as well. So this is the Midwest Music Explosion. The inaugural voyage of whatever this is has ended.
See ya.
And I'm sad.
Don't be sad.
I don't.
Drink another beer.
Don't be sad. We'll see you next week. Wednesday, 7 to 9, Midwest Music Explosion on TalkSTL.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.